We are live! It is Empire State of Baseball for episode number 80 on this Monday, April the 15th, 2024, airing on Twitch, X, YouTube, and as always, powered by StreamYard. What's going on, guys? How are we doing today? It's another Monday, April the 15th, Jackie Robinson Day. Of course, we got to recognize a legendary contributor to the game. He's changed the game of baseball. All our respect out to number 42, Jackie Robinson. Tom, how are we doing today?
Doing good. Jackie Robinson Day is I think it's just a great thing MLB does celebrate every year. The day he debuted with the Dodgers, everyone wearing the 42. They've moved that now everyone wears the actual Dodgers 42 on their jerseys. It's a cool thing. And again, it was a huge thing for baseball, and obviously it's a huge thing just for American sports. What he did and what he went through. I'm not blowing anyone's mind by saying that, but it's just a good thing to acknowledge and to celebrate.
Yeah, I mean, this is a big day. This is not only a big day for baseball. This is one of the great events in American history. This, for all intents and purposes, kicked off the modern civil rights movement in an effect, and showed people what equality in something like baseball could be achieved, and that equality could then be brought to our society as a whole. So this is not just a baseball day. This is a great day in American history, celebrating a man that is a pioneer, not only in the game of baseball, but for Americans as a whole. And that has to be appreciated. And baseball does a great job showing that every single year on this date.
Yeah, and I'll tell you what, you want to talk about a big sports weekend too. Even outside of the baseball world, we just had a Masters weekend this weekend, so really is a great time from a sports standpoint. NBA regular season came to an end. We'll be getting into playoffs there. Hockey's right there too. I mean, this is a NFL draft a few weeks away, so we're really in a pretty good sports time of year right now.
Oh, what a weekend it was. Just the amount of golf that I watched. I didn't watch a ton of Yankees. Had them on as like a third screen, really. The Masters is the Masters, and it was
awesome.
Oh, it was beautiful.
Sunday, the last 5 holes, once Amen Corner chewed up and spit out Morikawa, Homa, and the rest of the guys trailing Scheffler. Scheffler lost a shot on Amen Corner and gained 3 shots on the field.
Scotty Scheffler is an anaconda. Or like a python. He just suffocated everyone. No one else wants to hear about golf talk, but boy, was it.
Oh, and I'm one to include. I'd rather watch cows eat grass, to be honest.
You know what?
Let's get into a little bit of the roll call.
Are we answering Mike's question? No, that's good.
No, we are not. We are not. We are keeping it moving. Come on, Mike. You know better. You have a wrench. All right, so let's take a look at the roll call here. All right, my guy Joey Bag of Donuts beat everybody to the punch. What's going on, Joey Bag's got a great morning drive on the AM hours of space there. My guy Jonathan, yes, we are. Jonathan, what's going on? NFE, my guy, the Strike Zone, give him a follow on YouTube. His YouTube page growing every single day. He goes live on Tuesdays and Thursdays with his live stream, doing great things over there. Shout out to NFE. My guy Hitman, one of the trio of the Yankees Vibes, give him a follow at Yankees Vibes 78 on Spaces. Damian Serrano, part of the Morning Brew Yankee pregame show. My guy Damian checking in. What's going on, Damian? Corey, what are you doing in here? Corey Favs. Give Corey some love too. Corey's here on the live stream, but he's also in the chat doing double
up those viewer numbers there, aren't you, Corey?
Phenomenal. Maybe he wants that card. We'll talk about that later. Sierra, let's go Yankees. Boo Mets, except for Bader. Bader actually doing really well for you guys. I've noticed that.
All of a sudden,
woke up.
All of a sudden,
you didn't hit anything for a week and a half, and all of a sudden you can't get him out. So
yeah. Sierra gave him the good juju.
There you go. My guy, Jack Esposito, what's going on? Mikey Pars, of course. I got to throw up that question, I guess, one more time for the shout out. Shifting Soul, we have a Met fan in the house. What's going on, Shifting? Shout out to David And that will be it for now. So everybody trickling in. Appreciate you. We got 22 people out here. Just a reminder, smack the like button, comment as well. We have more details on our giveaway later on in the show. We'll get into that later on. But the lineup for tonight, we do have the Empire Express kicking things off as always, the latest in New York baseball news. We'll check in on what the Mets and the Yankees are doing compared to their respective leagues. Then we have Chooch's pick of the week is back again for its bi-weekly bait. Matt actually submitted a Chooch's pick last week while he was on an off week. So he's going to be doing off-week Chooch's picks as well for social media. And he actually hit on that one. So we'll touch more on that in a little bit. We also have the New York Strike Exchange. We're going to talk about the Bulls and Bears. We'll get into that a little later. It's a bit that we did all of last year on social media. We'll do a live reveal of what the Bulls and Bears are all about later on tonight. And of course, Guess the Graph makes its return for the 2024 season. Tom Wospil's baby here, Guess the Graph. And Joe and I, however, will be providing tonight's autographed baseballs for you to guess later on. But it is time for the Empire Express. And as I catch my breath, it's time to talk New York Mets baseball. And Joe, we'll kick it over to you. Let's talk about the New York Mets.
Yeah, the New York Mets have kind of come on of late after, I think it was, a 1-6 start, Corey? They have won 3 series in a row and are looking like the well-balanced teams that David Stearns puts out. Except for Francisco Lindor, and we'll get into that in a little while. The Mets are pitching well, the bullpen's doing well, and the offense is doing relatively well. So the team as a whole is playing good, efficient, clean baseball, which is what you expect from the Mets going forward. That was a good series against the Royals. Listen, you get the one game in between that was just an absolute crazy house with balls flying all over the place. Sal Perez had the 2 home runs before he got hurt the next day. But overall, the Mets are, despite a 1-6 start, look like they have gotten their season going and are starting to pick it up. You need Francisco Lindor to hit. You need Marte to hit a little bit more. But other than that, the offense is starting to click. McNeil is hitting 360-something in the last 4 games. Brett Baty looks like the number 1 pick or the first-round pick that he should have been. And they're starting to look like a team that is going to contend for a playoff spot. Again, not getting our head ourselves. I don't think any of us think that they can catch the Braves, even with the Spencer Strider injury. But they look like a good baseball team that is going to stick around this entire season.
Yeah, no, I mean, it really was a fun week to be a Mets fan. And I know the first week of baseball couldn't have gone worse. 0-5, like Joe said, 1-6 to start. But after they got that first win, then they won a series versus the Reds, 2 of 3. Then they won a series versus the Braves, 2 of 3 in Atlanta. That doesn't happen lately, so they took 2 of 3. You go to the Royals came to Citi Field this last weekend, took 2 of 3. So they're playing consistently good baseball. All of a sudden now they've won 7 of their last 10 games, the Mets. And like Joe said, I mean, the offense really came alive, and you're starting to see the bats turn around. Definitely want to give McNeil a shout out because he was really slow that first week or so. He's starting to look like the old McNeil, which we love to see. And the pitching, how about the pitching? I got so much hate for the bold prediction.
Here we go.
I got so much hate about it. No shot. Well, listen, it's still early in the season. We're only half a month in. But right now, the Mets are the number 1 team in the National League in staff ERA. So my bold prediction's hanging up there pretty good. But right now, you take decent pitching. The starting pitching, for the most part, is decent. The bullpen in the back end with Diaz and Raleigh has been great.
And Drew Smith.
Andrew Smith.
I said this earlier last year. He was the key to the Mets bullpen. He has been absolutely lights out this year. We saw the talent and what the Mets expect from him. Now the Mets can now move Ottavino potentially out of the 8th inning as Ottavino gets a little older, and they have that option if Smith continues the way he's going to put him in between Raleigh and Diaz, depending on lefty righty on things. But he's been fantastic. So you're 100% right. The bullpen, the back end of that bullpen's looked fantastic. so far early this year.
Yep,
And
exactly.
Diaz hasn't missed a beat coming back.
Exactly.
He's excellent.
Yep, no, he's been great. And honestly, like you said, Rich, who knows? And actually, Joe, you said it. Who knows if they're going to be able to catch the Braves? Probably not. But in a 3 wild card playoff format now, as long as you linger around there, if you're at 500 at the trade deadline, you might as well consider yourself a buyer because you have just as good a shot as anyone to get that 3rd wild card spot. And we said it in spring training when we were doing our shows leading up to the regular season. The Mets bullpen was average on paper after they made some late moves. That's right there. That's a position you could target at the deadline. Relievers always become available if you want to improve on the starting pitching. Because again, I don't have the most faith in some of the starters right now, despite the good numbers, but you're going to get Senga back by the end of May, you hope. Go out there, get a starter at the deadline if you're still in it. So there's a lot of paths to improve while maintaining the long-term cap flexibility that you want. I know there's no cap, but you know what I mean, financials. So right now, in a Mets standpoint, I'm in a very good spot right now. I'm very happy where we are, that we've turned the negative vibes into positive.
So, Tom, I guess a week later, Joe's prediction of the Mets making the playoffs doesn't look a little crazier.
I mean,
Unless it's still crazy in your eyes.
I mean, sure, it's been a week. It's just such a Joe thing.
I didn't say they're making the playoffs with 90 wins. I said they're making the playoffs with 85 wins. I think that's a fair
I don't think a playoff team. I don't think there's gonna be a playoff team with 85 wins like that. That would be. I'd be more shocked if a playoff team makes the playoffs with 85 wins than the Mets make the playoffs.
That 3rd wild card, though, you never know. If you get a lot of mediocre baseball, you could have teams sneak in there 84, 85 wins. I mean, the Phillies, I expect to take wild card 1. I think we all expect the Diamondbacks to take wild card 2. We all had those 2 teams, but wild card 3 is really up for grabs. You get a lot of mediocre teams in there, so we'll see what happens.
All right, well, we'll flip it to the other side of the town. And Thomas, your thoughts on Yankees baseball as of late?
Yankees baseball has been good. They continue to win series. They've yet to drop a series. They've had a couple chances to sweep that they just haven't converted, which, listen, wins are wins, and it would have been really great if they would have finished off the Marlins and finished off especially the Guardians game, which they had and they gave away yesterday at the end. But I mean, 12-4, I don't know what else you could have expected from, I mean, any team. I think if you're the Dodgers, you'd be happy at 12-4. Like 12-4 is as good of a start as you really could hope to have. Pitching's been good. Offense has been pretty good. The one thing that has been concerning has been the defense. I feel like we're not fielding ground balls. The reason they lost yesterday was, granted, it was a hard hit ball to Glaber, but he just kind of booted it and wasn't able to get the play at the plate. So I don't know. It's a little bit of nitpicking on a 12-4 team. But listen, it sounds like Cole is starting to progress. You add him into this rotation. The bullpen has been holding it together. You would expect them to add to that. It's what else you want? Yeah, and you're muted, which honestly is kind of nice.
That looked like a good thought, Rich, and the mute button just.
I know the older I'm getting, it's quicker to lose these thoughts too. So when it comes to the Yankees currently are down 3-1 against the Toronto Blue Jays, and thank you for Michael Caputo and the rest of the chat for throwing in the play-by-play commentary. Looks like Luis Hill is not looking as sharp as he's had thus far in the 2024 campaign. But yeah, for the Yankees' sake, they entered in play 2.78 team ERA, second lowest in the majors, not even just the American League, which, hey, did anybody else have that thought in mind when Garrett Cole went down with his injury at this point of the season? No. I mean, this is a great start for the Yankees staff, both in the rotation and the bullpen. And even in losing games, the Yankees losing to the Cleveland Guardians, they're still staying in the ball game. They're still finding ways to try to come back. And realistically, there was only one loss that they had where the Yankees were just completely out of it from, seemed like, the get-go with the Arizona Diamondbacks game where they lost 7-0 to Zach Gallen. The Yankees are getting a lot out of their pitching right now. Credit to them, credit to the staff and Matt Blake, and shout out to the offense. The offense is really keeping this team alive in these games. Still you look at a game like yesterday. The Yankees would have lost that game in 9 innings in 2023.
Mm-hmm.
They would have made it a fight, and as close as it was, they moved Anthony Volpe to the leadoff spot, which is ushered in 2 schools of thoughts on how people feel about Volpe being up there. So the Yankees right now, things are going well. Hopefully they're able to make this comeback on Toronto, but we'll see what happens. We're going to do a couple more shout outs here before we continue to move on with the rest of our conversation, because I do have one other Yankee note that we should really do touch on that came out earlier today. Shout out to Andrew Corey, representing the Mets faithful in the chat. Let's go Mets. Andrew Corey, you'll be seeing very shortly on our programming in the coming weeks. He has a big segment that he's involved with. So we'll shout out to Andrew Corey. To my guy Ghost, another portion of the Yankees Vibes crew. Shout out to my guy Ghost. True Dom with the 3 turtles. I think throwing it back to the Bronxy the Turtle days. Rich, what up? What's going on, Dom? Good to see you. Dane Huber over at NYY Underground. Dane does fantastic work covering the minors and does an awesome job with a channel that seems to grow by like 5,000 subscribers every single day. It's ridiculous what NYYU is doing over there. And Larry Walker is in the building.
The real Larry Walker?
Here we got a Hall of Famer checking in to Empire State of Baseball. What's going on, Larry? Good to see you again. All right. Larry Walker's in the house. All right, let's go. Now we have a show, baby. 28 people in the building. Let's again smack that like button, send out the video out to your friends, family members, even people that aren't a fan of baseball. Let's start converting some baseball fans tonight. Bring them over to Empire State of Baseball because we still have a lot of show left for you all. And shout out to my guy. I just saw him right now in the chat. I don't want to miss him. Greg Kadari. Shout out to my guy, Greg Kadari. I heart Corey Favs.
Wishing your father best, Greg.
Yes, absolutely. Prayers up to Greg and his family and chat. Let's send out the prayers emoji if you can to Greg and the family. My love and support is with Greg, who's always been a fantastic supporter of the show for the last 3 years and a great friend to all of us here for the better part of 10 years. So shout out to Greg and the Kadari family, and my prayers are with you at this time, guys. All right, we're gonna keep it moving, and before we get into Chooch's pick of the week, I did want to touch on the John Sterling news today. And I know it's still a developing story with what's going on, but Sterling, at least through the beat reporters, Brian Hoke and the staff, that he is going to be stepping away permanently from the commentary booth. I hate to speculate on what's going on. And obviously, Sterling is an older fellow. He's been doing this. He's been in the game for such a long time. So you pray for his health. I know there's also been some shifting around with CBS, WFAN, but the overhead company, which I believe is Odyssey, if I'm not mistaken, or Entercom, I forget.
There's been Entercom. I think it was
Entercom.
Yeah, so there's been some shifting around with the head executives there. So I don't know if there's just been this internal decisions going on, but Sterling will be he's effectively retired, and there's supposed to be a presser at the end of the week. And Tom, I'll throw it to you, and then Joe and Corey. What are your thoughts when you heard this news earlier today?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing you hope he's all right. I didn't hear it, but I think I saw on Twitter earlier that Kay came on and said this is not a health specific reason. It's not there's something unfortunate happening to him. Obviously, he's 85 years old, so everything is it's just getting on a plane that often at 85 sounds just miserable to do. I know he's not been traveling as much recently, and Sterling has always been like a lightning rod, not even just for Yankee fans, but for baseball fans, because he does have a very specific way of calling games. He has the home run calls. He has the Yankees win. I'm not going to do a Sterling impression here, but I've always described him and Susan as they're like your great uncle and great aunt. They're part of the Yankee family. Yes, this John Sterling sometimes did he misread fly balls to the outfield? Yeah, he did. Did John Sterling maybe mess up some other calls, balls and strikes? Yeah, he did. But you know what? He's John Sterling. He's again a grandparent to Yankee fans, especially those who came up during the 90s era, kind of the millennial Yankee fans. They've always been that older figures in the booth. John has always loved baseball. And it's very sad to see him go. Hopefully it is on as much of his own terms as possibly can be. I'm gonna miss him. It's part of Yankees baseball. The calls of the Yankees sign a new free agent, and you're like, what's the Soto home run call gonna be? What's he gonna say? What obscure 1930s
They were getting
Broadway
pretty
musical?
cringe though, Thomas.
No, but that's what he is though. That's I mean, John Sterling is baseball, and that kind of stuff is, you don't get that in other sports. Like guys what Sterling bring of just that, the throwback to the past. I don't know. I've always loved Sterling, and I'm gonna miss him.
Listen, it's one of those things, we make fun of him because we love to make fun of him, but it's not a making fun of him necessarily. It's just he is, for all intents and purposes, a baseball icon, regardless of whether you think he's the greatest play-by-play man in the world or not. He never, up until recently, I think until he turned 81 years old, never missed a single game on the radio in all those years. He's iconic for sure. He's got his own flavor about him. Listen, at the end of the day, as a Met fan, do we kind of like poke fun and say, oh, it's so hard to listen on the radio? Yeah, but at the same time, like, he is the voice of the Yankees, and he is such a great character in the game of baseball. He really is similar to Bob Uecker in the sense of you just think of that flavor and pizzazz, regardless of whether you love it or hate it, that he brought to the game. We wish him the best, obviously, but at 85 years old, I'm sure he'll come in and call a game or stop in the booth once in a while. But he deserves every bit of rest and relaxation that he's going to get upon retirement, and he did. At the end of the day, he's in the Yankee Hall of Fame. Whether or not he gets into the Baseball Hall of Fame as an announcer,
do you think he will?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess maybe. I don't know what the criteria is for announcers.
I feel like I'd have to see who is in.
He's not Vince Scully, obviously.
No, and no one is.
World Series and things like that, and was very much the voice of all of baseball. But he is one of the longest running active broadcasters ever. And he is a Yankee immortal. And even if you didn't love the home run calls or the losing track of outs or anything like that, it's just part of who he was.
Yeah, I mean, Sterling, too. I mean, he was the play-by-play guy specifically for about 34 years or so with the Yankees, too. So pretty much our entire lifetime, going back especially to those 90s and early 2000s Yankee teams that were always in there at the end, too. So he really was the bridge from the current-day squad way back to those teams that we grew up with, too. So definitely will be different with him gone. Granted, do I listen to every Yankee game on the radio? No, I know I'm a Met fan, so I don't listen to everything. But every once in a while, I used to like to hear the John Sterling call, see what the new home run call would be for a newcomer. And again, sometimes you get some laughs at the miscues, but who doesn't? Definitely is a big loss. If I was a Yankee fan, I would definitely be more upset. But it's a big loss for baseball, and I wish John nothing but the best.
Absolutely. It came as a bit of, I want to say shocker, because it's just all of a sudden, here it is. You would just thought hey, he would be essentially phased out. Justin Shackle would be the one to just take over since he's being groomed for that current role. But yeah, Sterling is a legend, regardless how you felt about his calls, especially over the last 10 or 15 years. I think it is coming a little too late. But you hope for the best for his health. Now, it says here, at least for Joey Bag of Donuts' sake, Michael Kay had mentioned has nothing to do with health and he's just tired, and very well could be that. We'll find a little bit more out at the presser, but I kind of hope that regardless of the situation with Sterling removed from the microphone, when the Yankees do win a game, I hope they superimpose his Yankees win call after, or within the stadium. I think that'd be a cool little
tribute to
him.
Yeah, I was gonna say how Jeter kept Bob Shepard doing his intro. Jeter never kind of moved to I'm blanking on the name of the current stadium manager. Yeah, but he always kept Bob Shepard. So I could see them doing something like that. I think it'd be cool.
That'd be a cool touch that kind of gets you. It's the same like when you enter the stadium. I think it's Bob Shepard, right? that says "Welcome to Yankee Stadium" when they used to have the
Mhm.
turnstiles. They don't really have that anymore.
I
But
got Jack Esposito, Yankees radio, Mel Allen, and John Sterling. That's it. Mel Allen, a Hall of Famer. Will John Sterling join him? That'll be another conversation.
he's a very big case to join him. That's for sure.
Yeah,
I'd
and
say so.
commentary in baseball, whether it's radio, whether it's on TV, that's one thing that a lot of times we take for granted too, especially when you have these groups or individuals that are there for 10, 20, 30 years, 34 for John's case is play-by-play with the Yankees. You take it for granted, but when they go and you get someone there who just doesn't have that it factor, really
Feels
changes
weird.
really changes it. Yeah, because like as a Met fan, for example, Gary, Keith, and Ron, I love watching them every night. I know you guys like Michael Kay, John Sterling. I mean, it really makes all the difference in the world if you got some good broadcasters.
Yeah, but in a way, and I don't know if Tom will fully agree with this, I feel like with the S Network broadcast, at least, I wish they had a three that they could just stick with and kind of model after what you have in Gary, Keith, and Ron on the Mets side of the house. I wish it was Kay, Cone, and O'Neill exclusively.
I think the tough part of that is it's gotta be a lot of those guys don't want, and I know Gary, Keith, and Ron don't do every game. Like they very often do 2-man booths. I think on the road it's almost always a 2-man booth, guys, right? Like
unless it's a big series.
Yeah, so I think it's probably really tough, to say, hey, Paul O'Neill, I don't know how many games he works right now, but say, hey, we want you to work 120 games. I think he would just say, no, I'll just stay in Cincinnati and golf. Like that would be his response. And I think that's what the ones you'd want to commit to that. I think that might be what you get. That's why the Yankees kind of roll through it the way they do. But yeah, it is cool how the Mets kind of have like the trio, and it's like Ben the trio, and like that is definitely a cool thing.
But Tom, while you're at it, I know we have 57 people in the house right now. We want to obviously increase that number. Our numbers have been crazy. We are competing with a New York Yankee game. The Mets are currently playing as well. Are they both live right now, or the Mets off? I don't know.
Mets alive. It's top 6, 0-0 pitching duel between
both our teams are currently live. So hopefully we can try to get some more people trickling in as we move forward. But Thomas, what are the details on our live stream today?
Yeah, so if you are watching us live, thank you. Absolutely. But we would love you to do it, especially because we're going to get into this giveaway section very, very shortly here. So we want you to come over to YouTube. If you're watching us on Twitter, thank you. But head over to the party on YouTube. It's the best way to kind of get your comments out there. But again, we're going to talk about this giveaway, and you're going to need to be in YouTube to qualify for that. You have your comments read out on the show. A lot of fun things of just kind of getting involved. If you are on the live show, check it out. And if you watch this on a replay on how we load these shows later, come check us out live. We're live every Monday from 8 to 9-ish during the baseball season. And we want you to come join the party.
Absolutely. Thomas, I have nothing but respect and admiration for you and your reads here. So thank you so much for that. However, I do have a lot of respect and admiration for our next individual up here. It's been a couple weeks, but it's now time for Chooch's pick of.
What's up, ESB crew? Chooch is coming to you from this beautiful, beautiful day here in Staten Island, New York, where I'm going to give you my pick of the week. This week, we're going to go to our hometown Yankees versus the Rays for a 3-game set over the weekend. I think the Yankees are going to stay hot. And I think my player to watch this week, I think I'm going to go with Aaron Judge. He's breaking out of that slump. I think he's going to break out of that slump. I think he might go 2 home runs this weekend. Yankees going to take the series. What do you guys think?
All right, so my guy Matt going with my A1 since day one, Aaron Judge there. Really went out on a limb, to say the least, but he's got the Yankees riding high on the Tampa Bay Rays. Thomas, we'll take it to you, then go to Joe and Corey, and I'll wrap it.
Listen, I'll give it to Chooch if Judge does hit 2 home runs. Even for any player to call 2 home runs in a 3-game series is still a big ask. So if he gets that, I'll give him his props. If not, then I won't. I'll take the Yankees to win the series. It looks like it's possible the way this game is going tonight that they might lose, and then they'd have to win the next 2 to win that series. But if they don't win the series against Toronto. Maybe they come in with a little bit more intensity. Not that they're out, playing hard tonight, but just like, all right, as a first series loss, let's start the next 5 series win streak if this series does not go the way it possibly could. So I'll take the Yankees 2-1.
Yeah, and the one cooler, so to speak, on the Yankee season so far is that Aaron Judge has not gotten going. Which is odd because he hit a 3-run homer yesterday. But other than that, I mean, he has been pretty much ice cold most of the year. Him and Gleyber Torres are the 2 guys that aren't producing for the Yankees. And if they don't get it going soon, if guys like Soto and Volpe start to cool off, the Yankee offense might go to sleep a little bit, and you don't want that to happen. So I don't think he's going to hit 2 runs. I'm going to be the contrarian. I don't think he's going to hit 2 home runs. What does he got hit? 2 home runs in 3 games for Chooch to get the right pick?
I haven't judged him against the play to watch, but for the series, yeah. So if he's taking the Yankees, he said he's got the Yankees taking him 2-1. He'll get the credit for that. We haven't done credit. We haven't figured out the credit system for the play to watch. So that'd be another conversation for another time.
It sounded like a prediction from Chooch.
Yeah, I know I went against the Chooch last time, and I got it right. I was the only one to pick the Guardians that series, but I'm going to go with the Chooch this week. I think both New York teams continue that 2 of 3 streak, 7 of 3 in the last 10. So I'm going to go with the Chooch here.
Corey's trying to get the karma.
I'll go out on the damn limb. Screw it. We're riding high. Yankees going to sweep the Tampa Bay Rays this weekend. Yankees and Tampa Bay.
Yanks are overdue to lose a series. That's why I said.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. And at this pace right now, it might be this one right now that we're talking about. But I got the Yankees taking the Tampa Bay Rays for the distance. But we're going to kick it over to Corey Favs for a little bit of information on X. Before we get there, we did have a couple more guys check in. We got Matt. Hey, Chooch's pick of the week himself. Mr. Matt is in the house. We also have our guy Swift. What's going on, Swifty? I don't know if I shouted out Caputo before. I'm going to do it again. If I did, Michael Caputo, shout out to you. My guy Chris N over at Yankees Pod. Salute to you, sir, and the crew over at Yankees Pod live every day at 12 o'clock on the X. And Mr. James Connors is in the building. Chooch. Corey Faz, how do you follow Chooch on X and everybody in between?
Well, listen, go ahead, log in on X. You could join not only us, but our 3,000 plus followers. Thank you again to everyone following us today. Go ahead and follow us at ESB Podcast on X and follow our subsidiary accounts, ESB New York Mets, for your in-game Mets tweets, big Mets news. Same thing on the Yankees side at ESB NYY. You can follow us all individually. Myself at G Gory, Joe at JR Pugs, Rich at Rich J Rivera, and Tom at T Wospil. And again, we know this is a big show. We're going to give it over to Rich and Joe in a moment here to talk about the big show. But if you follow us on X, you would have saw multiple tweets giving a little bit of promotion for tonight. So thank you again for those who are following.
Also, real quick, Chris, I'm also going to be shaving this down this week. I have a wedding this weekend, so we can't go in looking a bit homeless. So we will. We're not shaving it off. We're going to be shaving it down.
Yeah. Well, so I gave Chris a little bit of business because when he told us that he was going to shave his beard, I was under the impression he was going clean shaven. And I was very disappointed that he went down to just a trim. Looked great, but I thought he was going to go full shave right there.
If you say I'm shaving my beard, you got to go baby face, No, otherwise it's a trim. You're just trimming your beard.
I know he hasn't been on in a few weeks, but the guy who loved the progression of beards would be very disappointed if you went.
Oh, I missed that guy.
I'm not going full. I never said I'm going full shaven. It is incredibly long. I don't know if you can tell how long this is right now. My chin, I almost lose my finger.
I thought you just had a Jay Leno chin, honestly.
That looks like.
I don't even know what my chin looks like anymore, so I could.
60 people in the building.
Let's get into this giveaway. Rich has this. I know I'm seeing Rich's thunder. Rich has the slides that he's going to show you here. But we have 2 cards, and I don't know if you can see them. They'll be on the slides. But we have our 250 subscriber giveaway. This is our first giveaway that we are doing here. And there's going to be a couple of rules. No purchase is necessary. I have to say that YouTube, you cannot do a giveaway on YouTube if purchase is necessary.
Free cards.
But these are absolutely free. All they're going to do is cost you a couple clicks of the mouse and a couple of keystrokes, and you'll have a chance to win. So rule number 1, you must be subscribed to our YouTube page. That's on YouTube. You can go click that red button to subscribe. You must like the video of episode 80. That is this episode, today's episode, which will be uploaded on YouTube immediately. Liking or commenting in the live chat does not actually count for the submission. It has to be in the comments after. And you must leave a comment on episode 80. Okay? The contest will run from today, once the video is live, from Sunday to Sunday, April 21st at midnight. Winners will be announced on Monday, April 22nd on episode 81, at which point we will contact you sometime after the episode, get your information, and I will mail you the 2 cards. No purchase is necessary. All entries are free. You get 1 entry per person, 1 entry per account. Comments with both hashtags will not be accepted, and comments, obviously, with any foul language, anything like that, will also be thrown out.
So Joe, that was awesome, and I'm gonna have Corey, Favs, and Tom reveal exactly what we're going in. And I know there's been reveals already on X, but for those of you who don't see it though, Corey, Favs on the Met side of the house, who are we, or what exactly are we giving away?
And I'll tell you what, one of the biggest breakout players this year for the Mets has been the young Brett Baty. So it's only fitting that we're giving away an autographed Brett Baty Topps card. So again, this is a really great card. It's got the number right there. It's 112 of 150 in this particular autograph series. So listen, if I was eligible to win this contest, I would be in it in a heartbeat because I really like what the kid's showing this year. Hope to see him as a third baseman of the future. So go ahead and enter. All you got to do is hashtag LGM Let's Go Mets, and you can get yourself a Brett Baty card.
Swift's already got it done. Hashtag LGM right there. But yeah, and the same kind of rules apply on the Yankee side of the house, right, Thomas? Who are we giving away?
We are giving away one of our unfortunately injured players right now, but Oswald Peraza, potentially the future starting second baseman of the Yankees, depending on what happens with Glaber. We're not going to get onto that right now. But again, a very similar card, a limited run here, signed card, 83 out of 199. Again, same deal. Make sure that you are subscribed to us on YouTube, you like the video, and you leave a comment. To keep in mind, Joe, correct me if I'm wrong, but a comment, the live chat is not the comment
transcript.
Yes, because the live chat goes away. So we want it on the physical video. Again, it'll be posted on YouTube.
You want to make sure everyone understands that, and no one thinks hey, I entered, and I want to make sure everyone has a chance. So that's very clear. You have to go to the comment section after the video is posted with your Rep BX and your LGM to get yourself entered. And good luck, everyone.
I got both of them. I've mailed out cards before. Listen, guys, I'm not a professional grader or anything. These cards are in pristine condition. So if grading is your thing, you can send these in. They're fresh. They're brand new. They're going to grade high. I don't promise any particular grade on them, but they are in very, very good shape, very clean shape. And if a guy like Brett Baty makes the All-Star game, the value is going to go up on them. So, right now I think they're about $30, $40 a piece if you're looking for equivalent cards. So you're getting some value there. And if you're just a fan and you collect the autographs and you like autographs, that's what we got.
JR Yankee said stop touching them, but not knowing that there's a protected thing right over it. Oh, man. We're giving
double sleeve. Soft sleeve and hard sleeve.
Sleeve it a hard time. I love it. Excellent job there, Joseph, protecting the valuable assets. One more time, just for the people in the back. For Brett Baty, you have to be subscribed to YouTube. Oh, well, subscribe to us on YouTube, not just subscribe to YouTube in general. That does us nothing. Subscribe to us on YouTube, Empire State of Baseball. Like the video of this current episode 80. And then after tonight's show is completed, leave the below comment, hashtag LGM, to enter yourself officially into the contest. And the same rules apply on the Yankee side of the house, except go with the hashtag RepBX. One entry only. We can't have multiple winners, and we can't have multiple contestants on both sides of the house. So choose wisely.
Also, you cannot comment for both cards. You're only eligible to win one, so you can't do
Only one.
hashtag LGM and hashtag RepBX. One is supposed to be for the Met fans. One's supposed to be for the Yankee fans.
We will we'll throw it around a little bit more here. Hashtag LGM Mark, but again, send it to the comments. I know you got your practice wheels on here right now, but after the video is done, send it to the comments there. And Erica Garcia, don't forget to like this video, people, which of course is one of the main rules of the contest. And thank you, Erica. Really do appreciate it. Joe, is there anything else you want to cover on the contest, or can we move forward? What do you got?
No, that's it. And like I said, keep an eye out. We'll post the rules on Twitter again or X later, and Instagram, so you guys will have them handy just in case you missed something, and we'll go from there. Like I said, this is our first contest giveaway. We're trying to have it fun, and we're trying to give something that the fans will really enjoy.
And most importantly, thank you all so much as well for your support, your subscriptions, staying active in here. We have 67 in the building, a lot of great comments here. You know, without you, we don't have a giveaway like this to celebrate you at home. So thank you so much for your continued support. We love you all. All right, we're going to move on to our next bit, the New York Strike Exchange. Before we get that, Joe, you're not done talking because I want to hear more about Instagram and the crazy mind of Corey Favaloro when it comes to the Instagram. What do you got?
Yes, you can follow us on Instagram at Empire State of Baseball. You can get all of our reels, all of our posts, upcoming events, upcoming shows, things like that. Obviously, we'll have some stuff for the giveaway on there as well to direct you towards this. So you can follow us on there at Empire State of Baseball. Corey at Corey Favs, myself at JR Pugs, Rich at Rich J Rivera, and Tom at T Wospil. All on Instagram, and keep up to date. I think we got 3 or 4 reels over 1 million on Instagram.
So we have 3 at 1 million. We have a bunch now in like that 300K range. So, but it's doing pretty good.
Damn it, boy. Way to go, Corey Favs. Excellent stuff, everybody. Fantastic. All right, so we got to talk New York Strike Exchange. And now this is where I want to gauge my man, Corey Favs. Corey Favs. There's a lot of new folks here in the chat that don't know what the New York Strike Exchange is all about. They don't know what a bull to bear is as opposed to Empire State of Baseball. So in a few words, what is the New York Strike Exchange? Oh, no.
Oh, it is. I'm back. False alarm. I got so excited that I double muted myself. But anyway, the New York Strike Exchange is essentially our version of the stock exchange, hence the bull, hence the bear, all right? But they're power rankings, all right? It's our take on MLB power rankings, but we're not focusing on MLB as a whole. We're focusing on New York baseball as a whole. So you'll see it bi-weekly. For those of you who saw the graphics last year, we did it every week. It gets a little weird, though, with the pitchers getting one start. You get shelled, then you have a shutout. You go from bull, bear, bull, bear, bull, bear. So we're going to do bi-weekly this year to kind of average the stats out a bit better. So again, it's our power rankings. If you're a bull, our top 5 bulls across the Yankees and the Mets. Same thing if you're a bear, that's our bottom 5 players across the Mets and the Yankees. And again, this week, we're going to do the reveal in just a moment here. It worked out perfectly, very naturally. There's 10 total players, 5 Mets, 5 Yankees. So a nice even split. And the way we do it too, each one of us, me, Rich, Tom, Joe, we all have our own rankings. We rank all the players ourselves individually. We then go ahead, average all of that together, and that spits out our official rankings. So just to give a little background into how those rankings are produced.
All right, Thomas, what do you want to start with, the good or the bad? We want to start with the Bulls or the Bears?
Let's start with the bad.
All right, we'll get the bad news out of the way first and reveal our bottom 5 bearless going back to opening day and ending yesterday. And at the top of our list is the Mets shortstop, but we'll work our way up from there. Adrian Hauser is in the number 5 spot for the New York Mets, then followed by Nestor Cortez in the number 4. We have Gleyber Torres at 3, Austin Wells at 2, and Francisco Lindor at the number 1 spot for his underperformance thus far at this point of the season. Thomas, I mean, there's 3 Yankees on our bear list here. Any Yankee you want to really call out on this bear list that we have?
Yeah, but just also real quick again for those new to the Bulls and the Bears, the expectation of the player also does factor in here. So if
100%.
one of the teams call up some guy in the bullpen and he gets shelled and like he has like a 27 ERA, but like no one expected him to do anything, like he might show up on the list. But a guy like Lindor who has a lot of expectation, that expectation comes more risk of being on lists like this. So frankly, Lindor probably still would have been the worst of what is out there. But Yankee wise, I'll talk about Glaber here. He got moved out of the leadoff spot. It worked out well that Volpe was also hitting well, but Glaber hasn't been hitting great in the leadoff spot, as you can see. And then defensively, I mentioned it earlier in the show, hasn't been as crisp. That's been an issue for him in the past. He makes a good play yesterday. The Yankees might be 13-3 instead of 12-4. So very well-deserved on the bear list so far this year.
Yeah, I'll touch a little bit on Lindor. I mean, Lindor is obviously riding the struggle bus. The one positive with Lindor is the fact that his defense has not suffered. He's been a phenomenal defender. He's not striking out at an alarming rate. 7 strikeouts and 62 at-bats is perfectly acceptable. It's just he is not making solid contact at the moment. And listen, he's too good of a player not to turn it around. It's one of those things that, he is off to a slow start. Kind of reminds me of the starts that Curtis Granderson used to start out. And particularly left-handed, he's batting .087 from the left side in his first 40 at bats or so from the left side. So listen, he'll turn it around. He's going to get there. It's not a big deal. The Austin Wells, I actually had both Yankee catchers on my list sharing the same position. I think the Yankee catching position as a whole is a problem. Obviously, Trevino just hit the home run yesterday, right? But the Yankee catching position, I think both players technically deserve to be on the list because they kind of split the reps there. So I think both of them, kind of deserve blame, not just Wells.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'll touch on Houser here too. And he had 2 starts in the first week. I know he actually started tonight, 1 run in 5 1/3 innings. Mets are losing to the Pirates as we speak. But it really was the tale of 2 starts. In his first start, which was against the Tigers on April 4th, 5 innings, 1 run. He was really looking good that game. And Mendoza got a ton of criticism, taking him out in the 6th inning. It was the first game of a doubleheader, 67 pitches. Sure enough, what happened? Almost every reliever had to come into that game, and the Mets lost it in the 11th inning. So it was a very rough game for the Mets, but a great game for Houser. And then he went to Atlanta on April 9th and gave up 5 earned runs in 5 innings. But listen, Houser is a back of the end rotation option. This is a guy, if the rotation was fully healthy, might even be a long man in the pen. This is not an ace. This is not a middle of the rotation starter. So you're going to get some good starts. You're going to get some clunkers. And right now, I think Houser right now is right there in what you expect. He's averaging out as a back end of the rotation guy. The Atlanta game hurt, and that was the one game they ended up losing that series. But honestly, overall, you'll take what you could get out of a back end guy.
Now, shout out to JR Yankee. No idea who that is. I don't know. He says here, Wells, the rookie backup catcher, should not be on this list. And, at the end of the day, Austin Wells came into the season as to split the duties with Jose Trevino. And if you look at the games played and the at-bats, they're pretty evened out. And Joe mentioned before, Trevino is swinging the bat a little bit better. So Wells takes the spot representing the Yankee catchers in this scenario. And for Wells, listen, you hope that he can turn it around. He has a ton of upside as the catcher of this team. This organization has so much catcher depth. There's a lot of word thrown around about Augustine Ramirez, who's on the Yankees 40-man roster, who's currently at this rate, I think up to 6 or 7 home runs in Somerset right now. So Carlos Narvaez, who's on the 40-man, Ben Rice, who got a lot of love last year. So you want to see Austin Wells try to make those necessary strides. But while he has all this control and options, there could be a scenario where if Austin Wells continues to struggle, he might be sent down to AAA. So we'll see what happens. We'll keep monitoring Austin Wells, but let's kick it over to the Bulls side of the house. So our top 5 Bulls thus far this season. And in the number 5 spot, we have Pete Alonso of the New York Mets, who's 6 homers, leading both New York teams in that category. Jose Budo with a .75 ERA thus far this young season is in the number 4 spot. I know there's been several great pitching out of the rotation in New York across the board. Carlos Rodon, Marcus Stroman also getting votes towards the Bull list, but ultimately did not make it. Brett Baty, our autograph card, our giveaway from the Topps Chrome section. And Brett Baty there, 315 batting average, exactly what Met fans wanted to see. Anthony Volpe at number 2. Speaking of rookies who struggled last season, Anthony Volpe, unbelievable start for him, a 382 spot. And Juan Soto will take the number 1. But guys, if you don't mind, I will start and talk about Anthony Volpe. Because what Anthony Volpe is doing right now for the New York Yankees has been nothing less than incredible. Volpe was started off in the middle to end part of the order. He got ushered into the leadoff spot, a move that initially I disagreed with. In a way, still kind of disagree with because I still think it doesn't, for lineup construction reasons, I think you want a guy like Volpe in the middle part of the order and not risk the stolen base in front of the 2 of the biggest world beaters in all of baseball, and Soto and Judge. It's a hill that I plan on dying on, but if the Yankees continue to win games, I don't know how much I can last on that hill. But Volpe's been amazing. 382. I believe at this point he's 2nd or 3rd in American League batting average, but under Justin Turner, I know is the top spot. 2 homers and a 1.041 OPS. This is not only the player that I had the pleasure of seeing minimally in Somerset and went through AAA. He's not only that player, I think he's a better version of that player. Anthony Volpe is crushing it this far this season, and I love that he's at the number 2, and you could have made the argument to take that number 1 spot as well. Tom.
Listen, it's semantics, but I have an issue. I'm just going to assume with Joe and Corey not having Anthony Volpe number 1. I'm just going to blame both of them for that. And Juan Soto you didn't either?
I could explain my reasoning behind
you guys are out of your, again, expectation wise, like there were so many questions with Volpe going into the season. I think he absolutely deserved to be the number 1 spot. Very happy to see him at number 2 there. I'm very happy to see Juan Soto up there as well, because he is just an absolute beast and love watching him every day.
Nobody got Bader in there, huh? Damn it.
Just, he was 6. Bader was 6, I believe. Volpe did struggle last year. He was. Some people will say he was good. There's a reason why he worked to change his entire swing in the offseason. It's because it was not good.
Yeah, listen. I mean, I had Volpe either 2nd. I think I had him 2nd. But I had Soto 1. And really, listen, we know who Soto is. We know how great of a player Soto is. But the fact that Soto has come into the Yankees, and especially with Judge not producing, and has automatically been that guy. How many stars have we seen come to New York and not live up to the moment, especially early on in their career? We saw it with a lot of players. We saw it with Beltran. We saw it with the Mets when he came over. We saw it with Lindor his first season. So for Soto to come in, and there were question marks about Judge's health and how fresh he was coming into spring training, and Soto has put his mark on the first 2 weeks of the Yankee season the way he has. That's why I think he's number 1. Volpe is great, but at the end of the day, the difference that Volpe has been making is not quite as big as the difference Soto is making for the team at the moment, and that's why I had Soto number 1. Listen, you're not exactly losing out with either one being on that list, but no. As a Met fan, I'll make it quick. The Brett Baty, these expectations for him were extremely low after last year. He had an awful year last year. He actually just got a hit about 2 minutes ago. He is absolutely raking. He's the guy that the Mets wanted from the beginning, wanted to win that third baseman job, and he is now hitting 5th in the order. He's making solid contact, and he's being a guy that is being consistent for them, and his fielding has vastly improved. He looks like the future Met third baseman for the next 10 years, and that's what we want to see from him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Soto was my one for a lot of the reasons Joe said too. I mean, right off the rip, made his case known that he belongs here, but deserves a big time contract. And it wasn't with the bat; it was with the arm. So, but again, Soto and Volpe definitely earned those top 2 spots. I want to give Jose Butto a chance here because Jose Butto didn't even make the team out of spring training, yet finds himself 4th on the list. And when you get 2 quality starts to a .75 ERA. There's a reason why you're on the list. 15 Ks in 12 innings. The Mets, and I've said it so many times, the biggest thing with the Mets pitching is that they do not have guys under contract past this year. Yeah, you got Senga. Then you got the guys like a McGill, like a Peterson. You got one more year of Minaya. But Jose Butto is pre-arbitration. So if you want to talk about a breakout guy who could maybe stick around for a while, this is exactly the type of guy you want to see in the back end of your rotation if he could stick. So hope he keeps it up. We'll see if he's on the list next week, but I'm very happy with the young Butto so far.
Absolutely. And again, like I said, love to see what Volpe's doing here. Now, I will throw this around the room. I know we're kind of getting close to the bell, and we have guests to graph here. Ball prediction. Don't have to give a reason, just one name. By the next time we do this ranking in 2 Mondays from now, who you think is going to be the bull by the time we get there? Starting with Corey, we'll work our way back around. Corey, Joe, Tom.
Who do I think is the bull 2 weeks
to be the top bull, or just going to break into the list?
How about someone who's not a bull right now who can be a bull next time?
I'll go with what. Yeah,
I like that question.
I'll go with what Joe and I were talking about a little bit earlier. Jeff McNeil. I think he's really turned it around the last week. Hopefully, he stays hot.
I was gonna say Jeff McNeil. I'll go Brandon Nimmo. Nimmo had a slow start, but Nimmo's on base percentage is like hovering around 380, despite the fact that his average was low 200s. So I mean, he's a guy who can definitely be a bull next week.
I guess Tommy had to answer Yankees. We got to
say I think I actually had Nimmo as my 5 spot in my bull list.
Oh wow!
I think because of some of that. I'm going to go with Carlos Rodon. I think Carlos Rodon his last start was promising. And I think he'll have a start coming up against Tampa the next series. I don't think he's in this series. But yeah, I'll go Rodon.
It's hard to not bet against the captain. It's clearly shown by Chooch earlier on Chooch's pick of the week. But Aaron Judge, I think, is going to be one that we're going to see back on that bull list, get back on a hot streak. He's been a career slow starter. This is a guy that we know is who he is. He's going to find his way into this bull list somehow, some way.
I had him on my bear list. I'm kind of shocked he didn't make it, to be honest.
His stats aren't bad. Like, they're not great, but he's 136 OPS plus. Like, it's early in the season, like 2 home runs.
I just think for his expectation.
For his expectations, yeah, but he's,
All right.
Real quick game break here. The Mets have tied the game in the bottom of the 6th. It's 3-3.
And looks like on the Yankee side of the house, it's still 3-1 Toronto in the top 7th of that ball game as well. All righty. We're going to get into games. But Thomas, it's that damn time where we need to talk about our friends over Roback. What do you think?
Sure do. Let's talk a little bit of Roback Activewear. And if you've been listening, especially the past few weeks, I've talked a lot about their Azalea collection coming out because Roback does have a lot of their roots in the golf game. But listen, if you're not a golfer, as we've seen in the chat here, there's still plenty of things for you to check out with Roback Activewear. Last week, they just debuted some new men's swimsuits that are looking nice. Got some cool designs there. They came out with some new women's things too. So some stuff going on. That paired with the most comfortable, got one on right now, polos in the game, the Q-zips, the hoodies. They got some tees. They got some light hoodies. Whole bunch of fun stuff over there. If you want to get something for yourself, which I would highly recommend, head over to Roback.com. Use promo code TWASPL15 to get yourself 15% off of your first order, as long as you have not used that email account before. Check it out. Again, not just golf stuff, a lot of just like comfy activewear things. And again, check it out. A lot of fun stuff. Promo code TWASPL15.
Fantastic stuff. That's throwback. Make sure to be using that code TWASPL15. All right, let's get into games. And for the first time in 2024, it is time to play Guess the Graph, which has been a constant here on the show ever since season number 1. And Guess the Graph is really simple. We're going to flash a ball up on the screen with an autograph, and whoever is presenting that ball will present a couple of hints as well, and we're going to try to guess whose signature that is on the ball. Now, unlike the last 2 years, this time we're going to be featuring 2 balls. Pause. 2 balls is going to be featured for the Guess the Graph. So Joe has the first one. I have the second one. So Joe, take it away. What is your first hint when it comes to this autograph?
This player played for the Mets for 7 years. I would say early 2000s, in 90s into 2000s.
We're sticking with 3 strikes and you're out also. So
Yes,
that is correct.
Everyone keep that in mind.
Everybody guess, and then I'll give a second hint.
Well, I don't want to guess yet. I'm gonna save my strike.
Take your damn guess, Tom.
No, guess, and then you get another hint. You don't get to
I don't
save
even
all your
know.
guesses for when the hints are up.
Let's go with
that.
Roger Cedeno.
No,
Edgardo Alfonso.
no.
Is it? It looks like Tim Tuff. Like I see an L in there, but it's not Tim Tuff. He didn't play that era. It's Ty Wingington.
No.
What else you got?
Let me see. This player was actually born in Cuba. I believe was the first Cuban player for the Mets.
First Cuban player for the Mets.
I'll double check.
Levon Hernandez.
No.
Cuban born.
Wrinkle.
Not El Duque, right?
No.
I don't even know if he had a stint with the Mets. Now I'm thinking about it. He did. I think
He did. A little later though. 06.
I don't think he might not have been the first for the Mets. So, but he was born in Cuba.
Born in Cuba.
I'm trying to keep these hints vague because there's 2 obvious hints I could give that would just flat out give it away.
Production talk. We need to have a clock. We need to have like a tick.
Yeah, I don't know. Timo Perez just thrown out again.
No.
Yeah.
All good guesses. All good guesses. This I'm trying to think of the best. Any of these are going to give it away. He won multiple gold gloves with the Mets.
Ray Ordonez.
It is Ray Ordonez.
Yeah, the gold gloves did it.
Yeah. I was going to go with that. I was going to go with I believe he owns the major league record for consecutive putouts without an error at shortstop.
Well, that's a Z at the end. I was thrown off because I thought that was an L, and I was trying to think of every player with an L, and of course
it's a tough autograph. I assume for the fact that the language is different, but yeah, the chat was right on it. But it was Ray Ordonez and
Hitman with Ray Ordonez. Good pull.
I saw one of the highlights I reposted the other day of his first major league game where he threw a guy out from his knees halfway up the left field line, which is one of the sickest plays I've ever seen a shortstop make. I mean, to be able to throw a guy out from your knees,
human
270 feet away.
Human highlight reel. Go Hitman. Yes. Shout out Hitman for getting Ray Ordonez. All right, mine. All right, I'm going to start off with a major hint to start this one off.
Ooh.
Hall of Famer.
This looked like T's.
Yeah. Tim Tuffle would have been a good one here.
Tim Tuffle.
2 T's.
Definitely not a Hall of Famer.
No, but with the 2 T's. 2 T's.
You said Hall of Famer.
That is correct.
I'm trying to think of 2 T's. It's killing me. I'm gonna go contrarian and say those are P's. Pee Wee Reese.
Incorrect. I can actually go look in the chat.
Man,
I have
Come on,
no
Chad.
idea. I'm punting my my first guess. Automatic L for the first guess.
Yeah,
You're taking the K already?
I'm taking a K.
I'll give you the back. I'll give you the backwards
Yeah.
K.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thomas,
I got no. I don't. I got nothing.
another
Let's get the
backwards
next.
K.
Let's get the next hit. Yeah.
All right, next one. This player had his number retired by not one but two organizations.
Whoa. Could have been a player for two, maybe a manager.
Okay, so
In the Hall of Fame.
thinking of guys that will qualify for, but I'll just say Catfish Hunter, but I don't think it is.
Incorrect.
I don't even know. I'm
We're
punting
still
myself.
incorrect here. Chris, it's certainly not Troy Tulowitzki.
For the purpose of time, I got a punt.
All right, another backwards K for Corey. We're looking good on the mountains thus far. Joe?
I punted my second guess.
All right. Thomas, you gave the second guess or no?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I said.
So we're good?
I said Catfish Hunter.
That's right. You did say Catfish Hunter. Okay. Which one could we go with here? All right.
Is this a Yankee?
Our-
Or could we just like establish this as a Yankee, right? Or no?
I'm getting there. This player has played for multiple New York teams.
Multiple New York teams, so that does not necessarily mean
Willie Mays.
It is Willie Mays, correct?
Wow.
really.
I would have never-
Willie Mays. Yeah, absolutely. Yep. Great call,
Wow.
Thomas. That is Willie Mays. Somehow, some way, that's freaking Willie Mays. And I guess you can
I
kind of
would
tell
have
like
never.
that. Like you could kind of see the M in the May part and the Y.
Yeah, that's
but
where
that- The lead
Yeah.
is so the first name that looks nothing like Willie outside of just like the squiggly
Wow.
line.
Wow, that was a good one.
Look like a pig's
That's a
tail.
tough. I'm thinking TT or TP.
Oh yeah, you can see, and now that you look
Man.
at it again, you can really see that like that
Oh,
top thing on the end. It
I
just says
really
T, but
freaking
he just
thought-
has a thing.
It's more like
Yeah.
an accent on the W.
Yeah,
I
and
really
then-
thought
I
I'd
don't know
get
why
it.
he was going for the
I
first
was
Good job,
way off.
All right, but Tom,
I knew you were being tricky when you're like he played for two New York teams. I'm like he would have said Yankees, and then
exactly. But yes, he did play for those who don't remember. Mets. He did play for the Giants, and he obviously went to San Francisco, but he did end his career with the New York Mets as well, and had his number 24 retired with both the Mets and the Giants. But that is it. So we're gonna call it a show on that note. We know next week what the plan is. Episode 81.
Do we?
Subscriber giveaway winners will be selected on Monday, April the 22nd at 8 p.m. And Joe, for the people in the back, one more time, do we want to do another quick rundown of the rules?
Yeah, I'll just do a quick rundown. Guys, the rules are really simple. You just have to be subscribed to YouTube. Just go to this video after we end it. It's going to be uploaded to YouTube. And just comment whichever card you want. Hashtag LGM for the Brady card. Hashtag BX for the Peraza card. You're only eligible to win one. So don't do multiple comments or don't comment both hashtags. Just one. You can also leave us a note with that hashtag as long as it's on there. And like I said, the video is going to be up within a few minutes. You guys can go and leave a comment in the comment section there.
Now, the ultimate rarity of next week's episode is that Corey will be here, Joe will be here, Tom will be here, but I won't. I'm not going to be here. I'll actually be on vacation and out of pocket completely. So I wish the fellas the best of luck with selecting the winners. I know they're going to be more deserving than anybody, our two winners of the Mets and Yankees card. So I bid you all adieu. I'll see you all in 2 weeks' time. But next week, I will expect everybody here, all 104 of you, to be right back here for Empire State of Baseball, 8 o'clock Monday for April 22nd, where we will reveal our winners of the giveaways. But that is it for Empire State of Baseball. So we'll work our way backwards. We'll start with Corey, then Joe, then Tom. Thank you, Train. Words of wisdom. Go for it.
I want to thank DJ Stewart for a big double and tying the game right now, 3-3. Hope they win.
Yeah, no, thank you all for being in the chat. Like I said, these are up for grabs. Go get them.
No thanks to Joaquin Neiman and Chris Kirk and others, Corey Connors, who helped me lose my Masters pool. Could have been $1,300 richer. But because you guys blew it over the weekend, I did not.
And I will thank all 100 plus of you for joining us here for Empire State of Baseball. And I know we had 2 New York games going on simultaneously, so thank you so much for joining us. And we'll see you here next Monday, April 22nd. We're going to reveal our winners of the giveaway. We'll see you then, and I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Take care.